Hello, everyone. Jonathan Casey here with Mercury's Messenger Astrology. Here to talk about the unboxing of some things I got in the mail. So, I got three things. I got this spirit animal deck. Now, I thought it came with instructions. It turns out it was, I think it's a knockoff reprint of the spirit animal deck from Colette Baron Reed. Um, it does have this code here thing on the back, um, but when you go and scan that code, there's about 8 different oracle decks um, that are there. However, the spirit animal isn't one of them. So that's a little bit upsetting. Um, but before actually getting too deep into the spirit, into what I bought here, you guys are noticing a different background. I'm at my camp. Um, Long story. I was house sitting for some people, and for a long time now, a friend of mine has a house just 15 minutes from my camp here. My camp, I used to live here. The rules have kind of changed. It's actually technically a seasonal campground. I was able to stay here in the past because I worked on the reserve. It's on a native reserve. Um, some things have changed. I no longer work there. There's new rules being enforced, and so I've had to move on. Um, so I originally was supposed to get this house, but he was in a process of evicting the people, and um, through whatnot, it kept getting pushed back. So I ended up going to North Bay, um, near North Bay, in between Sturgeon Falls and North Bay, and I rented a house there. And I had found a roommate on Kijiji, and I don't know what was up, but uh, I don't she I don't think she really thought things through, and she didn't give it a chance. And in a lot of ways, um, I didn't mind it there, but I wasn't loving it there either. And so I couldn't afford to keep it by myself. Um, and an opportunity came up to go house sit for some friends who wanted to go for a trip to British Columbia. Well, this friend had tenants who were friends of theirs, and I don't know what happened, but probably very similar situation to me. Um, the guy's a narcissist, and he's unbearable to live with. I've known him for a long time, and I've always I never fully trusted him. Even though we were roommates in the past and we were fairly good friends, there was always a part of me that just didn't fully trust him. And anyhow, he went to British Columbia with his girlfriend, who he had recently actually assaulted, and court order, they're not supposed to even be associating, let alone living and traveling together. Anyhow, I was watching their house, and over the holidays, this is the hangover eclipse energy, uh, the eclipse that happened uh, late on the 25th, basically the 26th. Well, on the 27th, he sent me an email saying, "Hey, remember to deposit the money for rent before the 1st." And my friend who has a house just nearby was in Jamaica at the time, and he was showing up the following day. So I hadn't really touched base, but it was looking like I was going to be getting that house, which would be a good situation for me for the long haul, because I was talking about selling this place and talking about renting to own his place with this money, putting it down, deposit down on the house. Long story short, these were my words. I said, "Are you guys that hard up for money? Because I am considering moving back north." Well, he fucking flipped out, sent me 100 messages, calling me all kinds of shit, and I kept my composure. I sent back 3 little messages, trying to defuse the conversation, and it just got more intense on his side. And then she started messaging me, and when she started messaging me, I then was like, "This guy is too much, whatever, you know." And anyhow, I did pay them rent, not knowing still about this house and what the situation was. And anyhow, they ended up deciding to cancel their 3 month trip. Nice to have 3 months off, you know. But his temporary situation outweighed my long-term situation by far. You know, there was no consideration for my situation. You know, and the way that I kind of look at this is when you show love, you are willing to help the other person in sacrifice to your own like I wasn't asking him much, but he was depending on this money, I guess, for his trip, telling me that, oh, cheap rent and it's only paying your heat. I saw the heat bill. There's no way that $600 a month is just heat. Okay, I'm not an idiot, and it wasn't cheap rent. It was fair rent, but it wasn't really fair rent considering I was watching his dog, shoveling off his tent garages so they wouldn't collapse, feeding his chickens, and he wanted me to start his car once in a while. Okay, well, I went away for 2 weeks. When I came back, it was plus weather for a week, and then I went to start his vehicle. It didn't start. So now it's my fault that his piece of junk car didn't want to start. This is more stuff that came down, and he just made. So yesterday I worked, and they got back. They gave me 1 day notice. He sent me 100 messages again while I was at work. I didn't get any till I got back. But basically, he wanted me to move all my stuff into the bedroom. My dogs weren't allowed anywhere except for the bedroom now, which I knew was going to be causing trouble because he had a nice barn sliding wood door. My dogs would be barking, scratching at that door, ruining the door, and then there would be more for him to shit on me about. And I also worried that, I go to work and this is going on, and they just end up deciding to call animal control or something like that, and I come home and my dogs are gone. So I had all those things playing in my head. That last night when I got home from work and got all these messages, I quietly, while they were sleeping, out the back door, put most of my stuff in the truck. I knew they were going to pick up some stuff in the morning, and so I got only 2.5 hours sleep. When they left, I grabbed the rest of my stuff, shoved it in my truck, and took off. I kind of felt like doing all kinds of nasty things, but I didn't, because an eye for an eye makes everyone blind, But I really kind of feel like I was screwed. But nonetheless, I'm not going to play the victim. I'm going to look how I played my part. And I played my part in asking a question. You know, I never promised that I was going to stay there the whole time. I avoided that question every time he asked me. But nonetheless, I feel like there is a degree of integrity that I wasn't fully straightforward about. And so this situation is partially my fault. However, I don't know how to deal with these people. They were trying to say we don't want any negativity, yet they were telling me that they're unhappy with me. So, aren't you being negative? It's kind of like, saying I want to be beautiful. Well, by saying that, you're in a ugly mentality. You're in a I'm not beautiful enough. Okay, so by saying that I don't want negativity, you are actually uh, in a negative mind state. You're refusing to see the what it is. It is what it is, and you have to face your shadow. It's not negative. It's character building. It's uh, shedding that dark ego. But that is not something he wants to look at. Um, his girlfriend is continuously bullied by his words, and I won't take bullying. I'm gonna stand up for myself, and but I'm gonna try and do it in a confrontational way. And the best way for me to have done this was for me to leave. Now, having said all this, it's getting late. I'm exhausted. I'm not gonna. Most likely, I'm not gonna say I'm not, because there is a possibility I will. I'm not gonna. There is a possibility I'm not gonna do tomorrow's astrology report that I usually put out this evening. Maybe I'll put it out in the morning once I get a good sleep and all that. I may even pass on my Facebook 2 card post, but I kind of feel like I really want to do that because I have some new decks, especially the deck that I'm going to introduce after the spirit animal one. So, as I was saying, the spirit animal oracle deck didn't come with instructions, but so it's not just an animal. They try and captivate the essence, the spirit of the animal uh, in the pictures and stuff like that. Let's try and find a good one. Like, I know the bear canary spirit has a crown on it. That's kind of interesting. I need to get a new camera. Hey, this glare is awful. Parrot, rhino, spider. Oh, I'm back at the canary. Anyhow, so it says the animal, and then it says, underneath, trust in the magic. They all have trust in the great mystery, be at home. I skipped a couple here, but life is speeding up. I have an Earth Magic Oracle deck, and basically it's more about events, but it has some things like ancestry and DNA or whatever, and it just has one word to describe it, and that's even pretty easy. Like, I don't have the book for that deck. I do, like, online or whatever. I actually ordered the Earth animal, no, the Earth Oracle deck again, this time with a book included. At least that's how it was described in eBay. It was a very good price. And I actually have good plans to do with my. I'm buying a few cheaper decks. And in the summer, when I have a booth. Here, I'm just going to grab this thing. I found this in the dump. There's some elastics on it right now holding it up. But it branches out. Here's the elastics down. It branches out like a tree here. And on the end of the branches, there's little clips. where you could actually like clip cards to or whatever. So with these extra decks, what I'm actually planning on doing in the summer is putting, um, grabbing a bunch of different decks, putting them together, and or like picking one card out of each deck, three cards in total, and putting them in an envelope with the card reading, and then I can do live readings. But if someone wants to buy a reading for a friend who's not present, they can do it, and they could pick the envelope they want right off the tree. So that's my idea with that. And so I'm actually going to buy a bunch of cheap $5 decks from China to do exactly that. Um, but yeah, so the only, yeah, like I said, this is a cheap deck, so the cards kind of feel really thin. Um, but whatever. That's the Spirit Animal Oracle. Plan on having fun with it. I feel like that's going to go well with my Wild Woods Tarot, the pagan tarot deck I have. Even the Spirit, the Earth Magic goes well with it, and that's what I've been doing my Facebook posts with for a while. Or, well, I've just kind of got into it recently. But I also got this in the mail today. Steampunk tea leaf readings. I love how it says tea in big like that. It kind of gave me an idea that of like, because I like hanging out at coffee shops, of starting a coffee shop, calling it Steampunk and Coffee, but have the tea written big like that. So it's like tea and coffee, but with a steampunk theme. Um, so who knows? Maybe I'll do something like that in the future. But it's a little bit small. Maybe it's not a little bit smaller. I don't know what I knew it was going to be small. They're fucking cute. This little deck. Like a nice, like a copper, or like I can't remember how she described it, like a caramel or something like that, coating to them. Such a beautiful deck, and this is gonna go well. These are Oracle cards, steampunk, and they're gonna go well with my steampunk tarot deck. I've been trying to buy themes. I'm still waiting for these cards were from the same artist, Santa Morte. I think it's the Day of the Dead or whatever. The Mexican like skeleton people. A tarot and an oracle deck. I'm waiting for those still in the mail. But yeah, this steampunk tea comes in this tiny little nice box. It has a magnetic seal. Oops. A little. I don't smoke anymore, but there's a dispensary just around the corner that I actually used to work at, and since I'm back at camp, I stopped in to say hello to some friends and have a tea, and there was a thing that said trading email addresses for pre-rolls. So where I'm going to live next here, the guy's a big smoker, so I'm going to give him this pre-roll, as well as probably down here, I think, or somewhere. Well, maybe it's not there. Somewhere I have some stuff that I grew this summer. I recently stopped, maybe a little less than a month ago, but it's been 3 weeks. And then there's this little tiny guidebook too that comes with it. The guidebook's not in color, but there's pictures of all the cards and what they mean. For the most part, I feel it's pretty straight up. You know, like horseshoe would be luck. The ring would be engagement. What was the other things I was thinking of? That tired mind starting to kick in. In a way, it could be like contracts. There was another word I had for it. For engagement, partnership, I guess, or whatever. These cards are a little bit thicker. I like the feel. Hopefully this doesn't continue. When I first opened it, some of these cards were actually sticking, and they're not as bad as it was sticking before. But you know, mask. The mask could be about, you know, going out and having fun, but it could also be about um, uh, fantasy. It could be about a veil, uh, uh, someone um, being fake, kind of deal. Money, well, that wealth or whatever is coming in. Um, prosperity, or yeah, five. Letters. Um, letters might just be a message coming in. Could be about you know, depending the reading, but it could be maybe telling you to write someone, kind of deal. Canon, well, I would associate that with like the Chariot card or something. Taking action, uh, being cautious about conflict. Um, the bell, so alarms are ringing. Um, there's a message that's trying to be sent. Medicine would be like healing, and this deck, baby, would be you know, possibly exactly that, a pregnancy, but it could also be about something new, something creative. Uh, question. I'm not going to go through them all. Um, but this deck won, I believe, in 1999 two awards, uh, and I'm really happy to get it out of 8 packages, not all being tarot and oracle. There, this was the second last one to be sent, and the third one to fourth out of 9. Sorry, there was one that I bought from in country, and I had it sent to me down there because it was gonna take no time. But this came all the way from Australia in like a week. Now, one of the Sante Morte decks I also ordered from the same eBay store, and he sent it out the day after. So this was in the mailbox today. Um, I believe it arrived today. So possibly maybe tomorrow or Monday I'll get the one of the Santa Mortes. The other Santa Morte, the date said that it was going to arrive first out of all the packages, not counting the one from in country, and I haven't received that one yet, and I think that one was actually the most expensive deck that I had bought online. And last but not least, I'm not sure if I really want to open this. Maybe I should leave it as a surprise for when I'm moving. Where I'll be moving, it's not going to be great accommodations, but it's going to be warm with a roof over my head where I can have my dogs. I'm going to be in an unfinished basement. But I've been there already, and it's clean, which is good. So I'm going to try and make it comfortable. But what is in here, and it's thick, it's been folded a lot of times, I could feel, is a tapestry, an astrology tapestry that I got for I think like $10, and for some reason it says to Mississauga down here, but then up here to me. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked on this. Yeah, I'm not gonna open it because I'll keep it as a surprise for one of my next videos. Not here at the new place. I'll have a nice astrology tapestry background to do my videos. So yeah, this is my video today. Sorry I'm not talking about the astrology. I don't think I'm gonna do it today. I'm wiped. I got 2.5 hours sleep after working 12 hours yesterday to then have to drive up north here today after packing the rest of my shit and then unpacking everything when I got here, and the building was frozen, so I had to split wood and well, not really split wood, cut some kindling, and get a fire going. And I still feel cold, like by the lower half of my feet, even though I have quite a bit of heaters going to try and get the heat back in the place. And it hasn't been terribly cold up here, but I don't hear my fire crackling, so I'm gonna go check on that, and see you guys all tomorrow. I promise I'll be right back into this before you know it. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have had a better experience than I have here. Yeah, it is what it is. I felt like doing some nasty stuff, but I didn't to those people. And that is what it is, you know. I'm losing out half a month's rent, and it's putting me in a pretty shitty situation. I actually was enjoying the job plowing the highway, which I didn't think I was going to. Everyone there at work was nice people as well, and the pay was good. But it is what it is. I have some money to last me till summer. I plan on still finding some work from now till then. And fireworks season will kick back in May. So May and June are always really good paying months for me, and even a part of July, because we're cleaning up from July 1st weekend basically. And then there's native powwows that we do shows for in the summer, as well as other stuff. I just don't really want my savings to go down. I'd like it to go up, you know, and I want to set myself up so I'm not in this situation next year, come fall when I have to move again. So yeah, like I was saying, I'll talk to everyone really soon. Thanks for watching. Sorry again for no astrology post today, but I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye now.